What is up, Cool Kids Club? This is Joe here with Youngster Joey Videos, and I would just like to quickly show you guys what deck I am currently using for the Fusion tournament. So here's the main deal of the deck. I looked at all the cards I could think of that would Fusion summon from the deck instead of using Fusion's material from my hand, and that's what I went with. Obviously, branded Fusions, unfortunately, is not available yet. And Red Eyes Fusion's not quite as good as it could be because there's no Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, but I think I've had a lot of fun with this deck and I just wanted to share it with you guys. It's not super consistent where it wins every single time, but it either wins really quickly or it loses really quickly. And either way, I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, I want to get through these duels relatively quickly to get the points up. And like I said, I win probably about 75% of the time. And like I said, win very quickly. So first things first, we have 2 Red Eyes Black Dragons. Again, even without Dragoon, it's still a Red Eyes Fusion is still pretty good. 3 Maxx, obviously every single deck ever should have Maxx, even though I haven't seen a whole lot of special summoning in the Fusion tournament. There's at least a little bit, and Maxx is a great card. Triple Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is really good against things like Red Eyes Fusion or Destiny Fusion or anything else that is Fusion summoning from the deck. So absolutely super necessary for this tournament. I have double Celestial for DPE. I have 3 Fallen of Albaz. Even without branded Fusion, I don't actually have any of the Albaz Fusion monsters. It's still pretty good to be able to Fusion summon things. You know, it's basically an extra super polymerization. It's not quite as good, but it's similar. And then I have double Shaddoll Beast so that I can use Shaddoll Fusion, and then double Destiny Hero Dasher again for DPE. Then we get to our magic spells or our spell cards. We have Raigeki and Monster Reborn. Again, obviously, you know, 2 pretty strong cards. 3 Shaddoll Fusion so that I can get Winda out. 3 Red Eyes Fusion so that I can get the Red Eyes Fusion monsters out. And then 3 Red Eyes Insight to search Red Eyes Fusion. Now, if I use Red Eyes Insight, I can only use 1 Red Eyes Fusion during the duel, so that's a little annoying because I only have the 2 Red Eyes Black Dragons, but not too bad. 2 Fusion Destiny, obviously the best card in our deck, but again, sometimes I don't get it, which is why I need the other Fusion spells. I have 1 Lightning Storm. Again, obviously, it's a Raigeki or a Harpy's Feather Duster, depending on what I need it for. And then 3 Defusion. I know in like real life, Defusion's a pretty garbage card, but since everybody's boss monsters right now are Fusion monsters in the Fusion tournament, I think it can be very useful. And then 2 Super Polymerizations. Again, obviously wanting to get rid of all of their boss monsters as quickly as possible. 2 Call by the Grave, mainly just to protect myself from Ash Blossom, but Call by the Grave also works really well against DPE. If they use its effect to try to bring it back, I can obviously banish it, and then he can't come back. I only have 1 Necro-Fusion. I had more at one point, but I wanted to get down to exactly 40 cards. I do actually like Necro-Fusion, especially if, you know, I want to bring out 2 DPEs or 2 of the Red Eye Slashing Dragons or something like that. It can be pretty cool. I use the Fusion spell and then use Necro-Fusion to bring out the second one. And then 1 Solemn Judgement to basically stop whatever they're trying to do. If they're trying to re-establish board presence, I can obviously lose a lot of life points, but able to keep advantage. And then we have some of our Fusion monsters. So Mudragon of the Swamp is one of the best super polymerization targets. Almost always live if they have at least 1 or 2 monsters on the field. Shaddoll Winda, this is our main Shaddoll Fusion target. We have plenty of dark monsters in our deck, and then we have the 2 Shaddoll monsters. Obviously, if we send Shaddoll Beast using Shaddoll Fusion to the deck, or sorry, to the graveyard, we can draw a card and then bring out Winda, which keeps them from only being able to special summon once per turn. We have Chimeratech Rampage Dragon. Even though we don't have any native way to Fusion summon this, I did see, especially at the beginning of the tournament, a lot of Cyber Dragon decks, so I thought it would be a good super polymerization target. We also have Shaddoll Grysta, not quite as good as Winda, but if I want to, you know, send an Ash Blossom or something like that, or again, if I am using super polymerization, I can bring out Grysta, but it's probably more likely to do Ash Blossom and our Shaddoll Beast. I have 2 Red Eyes Slash Dragon. It's obviously not as good as Dragoon, but it is a really good card. It can really kind of protect yourself, and it also gives me a 3k beater, which honestly, for most of the time, is enough. And then a Cyber Twin Dragon, another another super polymerization target. Actually, probably a little bit better than Rampage Dragon, because Rampage Dragon really only has the effects if I have Cyber Dragons in my own deck, but sometimes Rampage Dragon's not live when Cyber Twin Dragon is. Again, or the other way around, sorry. Sometimes Cyber Twin Dragon is not live when Rampage Dragon is, so I wanted to have both of them, again, in case I'm playing a Cyber Dragon deck. Then we have a couple other Super Poly targets with Starving Venom Fusion Dragon and Predaplant Dragostapelia. Again, both really good Super Polymerization targets, or again, Fallen of Albaz targets if they have their own Dark Fusions or their own Dark monsters on the field. Then we have Borreload Furious Dragon. Again, not quite as often is it live, but sometimes when I put out Albaz or Super Poly, I can bring out a Borreload Furious Dragon. Not too bad. The 2 DPEs are main win condition, although even when I don't summon it, I can generally still win pretty quickly, just based off the other fusions. One Predaplant Triumvirtum, again, another Super Poly target. And then Frightfur Cure Whale, another Super Poly target if I'm doing the Fright Furs. I just didn't need all my extra decks, so I wanted to have plenty of targets to kind of wipe off their board. Even though I only have 2 Super Polys, I see it pretty regularly, so I think it can definitely be pretty useful. And then the last one is another El Shaddoll. You know, if I have an Earth monster, I have Maxx, and you know, a couple other Earths can pop up. Again, just having plenty of Shaddoll targets. Like I said, I don't win every time with this, but I win pretty consistently, about 75% of the time, I would say. And when I don't, it's because I can just completely brick, and the game's over pretty quickly either way. So I've been able to do a lot of duels in a short amount of time and get a whole lot of points fast. So that's the deck I've been using. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope you guys could try a similar deck yourself. That's all we got today, guys. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.